Are you one of the 25 or 30% of people worldwide living with fatty liver disease? This condition can lead to serious health problems if left unchecked. But what if I told you there was a way to not just manage it, but actually reverse the process and do it naturally as well? You may have been told that lifestyle changes are key to managing fatty liver disease, but emerging research is revealing the incredible power of specific dietary strategies, targeted supplements, and mindful lifestyle adjustments that are going to help make it easier to reverse fatty liver disease. So today we're going to dive into the science of fatty liver disease and explore some of the mechanisms involved so we can better understand how to reverse it. We're also going to look at some of the research-backed solutions to reclaim your health and improve your liver function. Hello, welcome. My name is Dr. Terranella, and I'm dedicated to helping you improve and optimize your health. We're going to draw on my 15 plus years of experience and focus on natural ways to reverse fatty liver disease. If you're finding this information useful and helpful, click on the like and subscribe button to continue getting videos like this. Fatty liver disease, also known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or NAFLD, is now known as metabolic dysfunction associated diabetic liver disease. Yeah, that's a mouthful, but the change in name more closely mimics what's actually going on with fatty liver disease. So NAFLD is now known as MASLD and is a condition characterized by excess fat accumulation in and around the liver. And the problem is that it progresses silently, leading to sometimes chronic liver disease and liver damage without you even knowing it. And that can lead to steatohepatitis, also known as NASH, where there's actually inflammation in the liver. And from there, you can get fibrosis and ultimately liver failure. This condition of fatty liver is now being highlighted as one of the leading causes or expected to become the leading cause of liver transplant in the next decade or so. And so these studies are highlighting the increased incidence of this fatty liver in the population. And that's really why we need a solution, because the consequences of this untreated fatty liver disease can be severe, impacting not just your liver, but your overall health. For instance, it can also increase your risk of diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other metabolic disorders. And so when we think about reversing the effects of fatty liver or reversing fatty liver disease, it's really about safeguarding your overall health, not just your liver itself. After all, we can think about our liver as a highly efficient factory processing all the things that are coming in and helping your body detoxify any toxins that are associated with those things that are coming in. And with fatty liver disease, that factory is kind of clogged up or gets backlogged and slows the processing of these toxins and other things. When those cells and tissues in the liver become backlogged with excess fat, it's slowing down or hindering the ability of the liver to process these toxins. You can kind of think of it like a central line in your house getting clogged. All the drains are going into a central line. And if that central line gets clogged, you're going to see some of the backing up in the toilet and different areas of the house. And in the same way, when you get fatty liver, some of the processing of these things coming into the liver slows down and you get problems in other areas of your body. So one of the common misconceptions with fatty liver disease is that, well, it's fat. So if I just lose weight, I'm going to reverse that fatty liver disease. And while weight loss is undoubtedly going to help reverse some of these problems, it's not really the complete solution and really an accurate way to think about what's going on. Other people may rely on detox diets or supplements, which can sometimes be helpful, but in other cases, they can actually be harmful. The real problem here is really understanding the intricacies of what's going on, what's driving the fatty liver disease. And it's not just about excess calories, it's about how your body is processing those calories. And specifically the role of insulin and insulin resistance, inflammation, and the specific types of foods that you're consuming to drive those processes. So to fully appreciate how we're going to go about this, we want to look at the deep connection between fatty liver disease and insulin resistance and the dietary choices that create this or can also unravel it. So insulin resistance is a core issue with fatty liver disease. And when your body becomes insulin resistant, it's no longer taking up the glucose into the cells and processing it the way it should. And so instead of that, it's going to make a little fat droplet and hold it there in the liver tissue and store it there as a triglyceride or fat molecule instead of processing it to go out to the rest of the body. The quicker and higher amount of those carbohydrates coming in from the digestive tract, particularly with fructose, is going to significantly contribute to the insulin resistance, the inability of the liver cells to process it, and therefore get stored as a fat droplet instead of getting processed out peripherally to the rest of your body. So one of the common solutions that you're going to see when you're having fatty liver is to reduce the carbohydrates that are coming in and also change the types of carbohydrates. Some may even go as far as saying, oh, you should do a ketogenic diet. The general theme, though, is to improve the efficiency of your liver of taking up those carbohydrates. So by reducing the amount and also changing the types of food you're eating is going to help out with the insulin resistance and help the liver do what it needs to do. So let's hammer out some of these details in a little more nuance. Studies looking at low-carb diets or ketogenic diets have shown that those types of diets can significantly reduce the fat accumulation and improve the markers of liver function when following that kind of lower carbohydrate diet. And that's because when you reduce your carbohydrate below a certain threshold, it's going to kick in your body's fat metabolism, and you're going to start to burn some of those stored fat calories that are in the liver or potentially in other tissues as well. And this is also going to help lower your insulin levels, which is going to reduce the amount of fat that's being stored in your liver with the food that's coming in on a regular basis. With this kind of diet too, a lot of people can get carried away with consuming lots of heavy saturated fat. So you got to be careful with the amount of saturated fat you're consuming when you're adopting these kinds of diets. And so that's where you want to use more healthy fats that are found in olive oil, avocados, fatty fish, and things that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. And you want to minimize soybean oils and corn oils and some of the more seed oil types of omega-6. And we do need a balance of both omega-3s and omega-6s, but people do tend to overconsume seed oils and omega-6 fatty acids as well. On the supplement side, there's definitely targeted approaches you can do to help reduce your fatty liver. And it's important to note with this that you really know what the cause is before you go down this path. Otherwise, you may end up on a supplement for the rest of your life and not really know whether or not it's helping or if you even really need it. So milk thistle or silymarin is the active ingredient in milk thistle, and it has lots and lots of research on it showing its benefits. And one study found that 8 weeks of silymarin of about 560 milligrams per day improved liver enzymes and improved ultrasound grading of fatty liver disease. Other studies on silymarin in fatty liver disease patients found that it can regulate energy metabolism, improve insulin resistance, and actually improve the histology or the cells in people that have already proven to have NAFLD. I do have other videos on silymarin and some of the mechanisms, but the main way that it's working is as an antioxidant. So it's helping reduce the damage that's occurring from accumulation of fat in the liver. And it also helps upregulate the antioxidant system. So in and of itself, it works as an antioxidant, and it also boosts the body's internal antioxidant capacity. So basically it protects a lot of those liver cells from any source of damage that could be coming into the body, including the fat accumulation. Vitamin E has also been shown to be beneficial or promising in NASH or NAFLD. And one particular study called the PIVENS trial demonstrated that vitamin E improved the liver histology, which again is the cells in the liver with NASH. And the typical dosage in that study was 800 IUs per day. The mechanisms for vitamin E are going to be, again, reducing the oxidative stress and also helping quench any free radical damage that's happening within fat tissue specifically. Now, it makes sense if you're watching this video that you probably already do have liver disease and you want to be cautious about introducing these supplements and tracking the progress, but also running it by your doctor. These are not a one-size-fits-all, so they may not be appropriate for your unique situation. Other potential supplementation for fatty liver disease can be things like berberine, omega-3 fatty acids, and even resveratrol. All these are generally safe and healthy things to take, but every person has a unique set of circumstances. Diet-wise, something that generally is going to be helpful outside of reducing the carbohydrate intake is intermittent fasting. Fasting is going to, generally speaking, improve insulin sensitivity because there's not as much food coming in, whether you're still eating the same amount of carbohydrates or not. Taking that pause for a day, 12 hours, 18 hours, whatever it is going to allow the body to process more when you do resume you're eating again. So let's look a little closer at what the research says about fatty liver disease. So we mentioned the study on silymarin. That was a study from Metabolism Open, and it's a pretty strong example of how silymarin can be useful in reversing fatty liver disease. And they were on a relatively moderate dose, I would say, of silymarin. The second study I wanted to highlight was a 2019 meta-analysis, and they looked at the effects of low-carbohydrate diet on NAFLD. And the researchers concluded that it's going to reduce the fat content and improve markers of liver function, meaning those liver enzymes. And so reducing carbohydrate is going to be a key strategy as it's closely linked with insulin resistance and that fat accumulation. Another review article looked at various natural substances and the impact of those on improving lipid metabolism, reducing oxidative stress, and balancing out the inflammation that's occurring in the liver with NAFLD. So I'll put some links in the description to some of these studies, but the key takeaways from this research is that reversing fatty liver disease naturally is not just possible, but it's readily supported in a growing body of scientific research. And by targeting the underlying mechanism versus just focusing on weight loss through diet and through maybe even using specific supplements, intermittent fasting, etc., you're going to definitely reverse the fatty liver that's going on there. And with that, improve how your body is functioning. Remember the central line analogy in your house where that backup is causing problems in other organs and other systems in your body. So here's how I recommend reversing fatty liver disease naturally. Number one is the dietary changes. That should be the cornerstone of your approach, and prioritizing a low carbohydrate diet doesn't necessarily need to be ketogenic or carnivore or anything like that, but focusing on the whole of your food intake, reducing processed food, and making sure your protein level stays high is going to really be the cornerstone of anything else that you're doing. Supplementation can certainly help in this area as well if you're not quite getting to where you want to go or want to speed things up, potentially protect some of those liver cells. Milk thistle, silymarin, and possibly vitamin E might be useful in helping protect some of that liver function. Intermittent fasting or some kind of fasting protocol where you're doing reduced caloric intake for a certain period of time each day or each week can also help promote the utilization of those stored fat molecules in the liver. And of course, when we're talking about burning calories, exercise comes to mind as well, because it's going to improve the insulin sensitivity in other tissues like your muscles, legs, arms, etc. And so that means the calories that are coming in on a daily basis are going to get burned up a lot more efficiently and not get placed in your liver as extra fat. So before we get into the key takeaways, I just wanted to point out that we do have a playlist on fatty liver disease and elevated liver enzymes and all things liver related. If you want to check that out, it might be useful in helping you tease apart what you should do for your unique situation. So here's the key takeaways to remember when it comes to reversing fatty liver disease. Insulin resistance is the central driver for fatty liver disease and the progression of it over time, not just the initiation of it, but that's how it progresses over time as well. And it can be reversed. One of the core things you want to do when thinking about reversing fatty liver disease is reducing your carbohydrate intake. Now, there's only 3 types of macronutrients. You have carbs, you have protein, you have fat. When you reduce this one, these ones naturally go up. Better to focus on the protein versus the fat when you're doing that. And for sure, you want to be careful with those saturated fats because that can lead to other problems. Targeted supplementation can be really useful in these cases, depending on how bad it is and what you want to do diet-wise and how that diet goes on to improve or not improve your numbers. Intermittent fasting can also help reset your insulin resistance and help your body distribute the calories that you're consuming to the rest of your body in a more efficient way. Keep in mind that reversing fatty liver disease isn't going to happen instantaneously. It's kind of a progression over time. So don't expect too much in the first month or even first 3 months. But for some people that are really on top of things and really aggressive, you can see significant changes in how your numbers are looking in a very short time. So hopefully this video helps you better understand fatty liver disease and what to do to reverse fatty liver disease. If you have questions, drop them in the comments section. But if you are looking for a more personalized, customized answer to some of your questions and more direct access to get help on your health journey, join the Insiders, join the membership program where I'll have more time and attention to answer your questions. Now, one question you might have after watching this video is, what are the stages of fatty liver disease? And you can find information on that video right here.